Joining us today in the virtual Studio 21, we have singer, songwriter, guitarist, Trinity alumni, Kaylie King. How are you doing today, Kaylie?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just chilling. I'm ready to talk to you a little bit about your album, but first, I actually want to talk to you a little bit about your musical background. What kind of music was playing in the household when you were growing up?
So it's kind of interesting. My family, they weren't super into like a bunch of different bands or anything. My dad was always listening to Prince, so there was always that. And of course, I love that. And that was really like the extent of it until I started getting into music on my own, which I was probably around 10 or 12. Around then, I started getting into like some pop stuff that was on the radio around the time, like through friends, which I liked. But then I got really into the Beatles and like older music. And then from there, that's when I kind of started writing and stuff. And then, through the years, I've gotten into a lot of other types of stuff too, like indie pop is kind of one of my favorites, and I draw a lot of inspiration from that.
Do you have a favorite Beatles album?
Oh man, uh, it's hard for me because I feel like there's kind of like three different eras. So I think the mid '60s stuff, Rubber Soul, Revolver is probably my favorite.
That's wild. That's Revolver's my favorite album too.
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah.
So good. Um, so at what point did you well, actually, before I start with that, I'm gonna go and say I was doing some research last night, and I came across a 2012 interview of you at the Crichton Theater.
Oh man.
So can you maybe talk to me a little bit about how your theater background maybe influenced your musical career at all?
Yeah. So yeah, I was really involved in theater. I must have been like 10 when I started. I did it for 3 years, but in the 3 years, I was just like nonstop in a bunch of shows. So that was really fun. And I had, I had a lot of like supporting roles. I also got to be Annie, which was very fun. But I think, that certainly shaped, like I was being trained vocally around that time. And I guess, I was acting and dancing too. I don't really remember how to do either of those things, but I had a lot of training, so that was good to have all that support. And also, yeah, like just getting into the musicality of some of that theater music was really good. But around that time too is when I started writing my own stuff and realizing I kind of wanted to go more in that direction.
That's pretty cool. The interesting thing that I saw also about at least the Annie performance is that you were performing to a crowd of 3,500 people, so from a young age, you've had this incredible experience of performing to large audiences. Is live performance something that you're missing right now?
Yeah, definitely. I actually started a few weeks ago. I had been in touch with someone from a new like bar in town. And so I did a couple of like socially distanced shows there, but that was just, in the past couple of weeks. And so, yeah, before that, I hadn't done anything live in person since before the pandemic. So it's really good to get back into that a little bit.
That's awesome. Another thing that I noticed about a lot of your live shows that I saw on YouTube is normally I don't see a band behind you. Do you have a band, Kaylie?
I don't have a band. It's been a while since I have. I had a little band together in junior high and high school. We played for a little bit. But yeah, since then I pretty much have been doing shows of my own, which isn't always because that's what I prefer, but sort of just that's how it works out. So yeah, I definitely want to have more of a full band in the future, but right now I'm content just going up there with my guitar.
Oh, very cool. So in conjunction with that, your new album, In a Brighter Place, are you playing a lot of the instruments on that album?
Yeah, I actually played every single thing on there. Some of the drums and some of the keys are I did them through a computer, but I did all the programming on that too.
Oh wow. And I really enjoyed your album. I thought it was great. And this is your debut album, correct?
Yeah. I kind of like put some demos on Bandcamp over the past several years, but this is the first one where I really like sat down and was like, I'm gonna make this how I want it and get it out on like streaming platforms.
I mean, the starting with the cover art, I noticed immediately, that Trinity red brick.
Oh yeah. That was my Lightner room. That's where I lived when I started writing the songs, or started writing some of the stuff for that album.
So how long has this album been in the works?
Well, some of the songs that I put on there, I wrote like probably up to 5 years ago or even more. But then I'd say about half of them are older from like I wrote them in high school, because I actually didn't write a whole lot when I was at Trinity, just because I'm sure like it's very busy, overwhelming. But during my last year there, I did start writing a bit more, and so some of those songs are on there too. But yeah, I mean, technically, I guess it's been in the works for like 5 or 6 years before I put it out.
I mean, normally what I end up asking a lot of people that I interview is this a pandemic project? Did you start doing that before, or did you start doing it during? And that's by far, I think, the most back I think I've been able to hear. But you have a really awesome songwriting ability, and one of the lyrics that I really enjoyed was in Sympathy. You said, "I don't need your love in the dirty place you call home." Can you talk to me a little bit about what that means? Is it a metaphor for that person's heart, or is it like that person has an actually dirty home and you don't mess with that?
It's definitely more metaphorical. And that one I wrote several years ago. So yeah, it's just about like personal relationships and tension within that.
Okay. So, I mean, I think a lot of the album has a lot of lyrics that are dealing with personal relationships and tensions with that. But the album's name is kind of in juxtaposition towards that, In a Brighter Place. But yet the actual content of the album it seems like you're in a little bit of a dark place. I mean, what was the reasoning behind choosing In a Brighter Place?
Yeah, so if I'm being honest, the name of the album was like one of the last things I sort of worked out, because I was just trying to throw everything together. So it's actually a lyric from one of the songs on the album, which is "Till It All Runs Out." I think it's like one of the last songs on there. But at the same time, and I do definitely agree there is some darker material on there, but to me, like, this album was just a really good step for me musically. Like, I've been playing and writing for so many years, and to actually, record these songs how I wanted them and put them out, I was really proud of that. And I saw that as myself moving in a good direction. So that's also part of the name.
I mean, I think that's awesome. I got a couple more questions about the album.
Mm-hmm.
Why Babylon as the single?
So there's like, I think I had 3 singles off there. That was the last one that I put out. That one, I really liked turning it into more of like a poppy dance kind of song. Because I think that's actually the oldest one. I think I wrote it in like 2014. So it's evolved a lot since then. Since just writing it on acoustic guitar. So I tried to, with my singles, put some of the more upbeat stuff. I mean, I think that's just kind of what people want to hear to get hype, So, yeah.
I mean, I definitely agree, with singles, you have to put the things that you think are going to catch the people's attention the most. But I mean, the songs that I really did enjoy the most were the sullen ones, the more existential ones. And that's really kind of what I took away from the album, is that it had an existential feel, like you were metamorphosing and you were shedding your skin, and you were kind of becoming a different person throughout it. I mean, what do you hope that people are able to take away from this?
I mean, the number one thing, I just hope they enjoy the music. But I guess for some of the songs that are a little like darker and go into, different subject matters, I hope people can relate and feel like they have something to relate to in my music.
I mean, I don't think you could say it any better, Don't think you could say it any better. So, do you have any maybe music videos in the work?
I don't. That was actually something I was planning to work on, and then that fell apart with COVID. So yeah, that's something I don't have much experience with that, so I would definitely have to get some help. But I definitely hope to do something in the future. It's probably not going to be for any of the songs I already have out, though.
Okay. So are you working on any new projects, or are you stepping back for a little bit and you're kind of relaxing?
No, I definitely have some stuff in the works. I have like several songs that are on their way. I just need to, put in some more time. So I'm hoping to sort of start a new release cycle by the end of the year, early next year.
Awesome. Well, I mean, that's really exciting for all those Kaylie King fans out there. Where can people find your music? Where can they buy the album? Where can they find you on social media? Please plug away. Plug away.
Yeah, so for anybody that just sort of wants to keep up with what I'm doing, Instagram is probably the best place to do that. And my name on there is just Kaylie King Music. So that should be pretty easy to find. I think I have links on there to my album and stuff, but also if you go to Spotify or Apple Music, if you just search my name, my album will come up there. And then, if people do want to buy it for some reason, I mean, you can listen to it for free, but if you want to buy it, it's also on Bandcamp, again, under my name, and so people can buy it on there.
Please support the artist. Buy that album. She's being too modest. Buy the album. Help her out. Well, Kaylie, thank you so much for sitting down with me and talking. I hope that you have a fantastic rest of the day, and I really enjoyed the album. Please go buy or stream In a Brighter Place by Kaylie King.
Thank you so much, Will. Have a great day.
Hey, you too.